Hey guys, Sakir from sakitech, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. We have had a whole bunch of leaks in relation to this product. We know the release date, we know the price, we know what it looks like, we also know the specs. So let's dive in and get the latest up-to-date details as to what is going on. So first and foremost, the release date of the Z Fold 6 is going to be July the 10th. Now this comes from Evan Blass. He has leaked the Galaxy Unpacked date, so that is the date you want to put in your calendars if you're interested in the Fold 6. The next thing has to do with the price, and this is US pricing. And some of you guys may not like this, but I'll tell you why it may not matter that much. So first and foremost, the Galaxy Z Fold 6, the base model, which has 256 gigabyte of storage, is now going to start at $1,899. That is $100 more than previous Fold 5. And of course, the Z Fold 6 with the 512 gigabyte model is going to be $2,019. And the Z Fold 6 with the 1 terabyte option is going to be a whopping $2,259. So these are some insane prices. And of course, my advice to you is never to pay full price tag on a foldable smartphone, no matter what brand it is. These things are too expensive. And of course, as Samsung releases these, make sure you're subscribed to sakitech with the notifications, because the day these phones get released, we're going to have the best deals for you with insane trade-in values and freebies. I believe that's the only way to buy these guys without having to pay that crazy full price. But anyway, that is the pricing. And of course, like we said, we already know what this phone looks like. We have had several leaks, actual marketing materials, dummy models have been shown. And of course, OnLeaks also has the high quality renders. You can see the biggest change on this phone. 90% it looks like the Fold 5. But if you look at the edges, it now has a squared design. So the edges have been squared off. It is going to be less rounded than the Fold 5, which I personally like, even though some people may not like it, because the edges, the squared edges, are slightly more sharper, and it might put some extra pressure in your palms when you hold this phone. But that basically is the most significant difference, the squared off edges. Now, I am not 100% sure if you're going to have titanium build like the S24 Ultra. That remains to be seen. But personally, I like the way the Fold 5 looks, so the Fold 6 I think looks even better with the squared off edges. Now, the battery, based on the specs that were leaked, is going to be the same. It's going to be 4,400 milliamp hours. But the battery life is going to be slightly longer. And that is because we're going to have better Android and One UI optimization with the latest versions on the market. Now, the screen size on the Fold 6, the outer display is going to be just slightly larger than the Fold 5. So the Fold 5 has a 6.2-inch display. The Fold 6 is going to have a 6.3-inch display. So we are getting a slightly wider frontal screen. So if you're one of those guys waiting for a really wide front screen, you probably want to wait for the next iteration, because this iteration is still going to have that narrow, long display with very slight increase in the width. But the inner display on both the Fold 5 and the Fold 6 is going to be the same with virtually identical resolution. So it's going to be a 7.6-inch display. The resolution is going to be 2160 by 1856. Which is just slightly more sharper than the Fold 5. But I can pretty much guarantee that the displays are going to be brighter. Okay, we don't have spec leaks on the brightness of the display, but just like the S24 Ultra, which really upped the display brightness, we can expect the same thing with the Z Fold 6, with slightly better display quality and brighter display, both on the inside and the outside, and of course, it is going to be 120 Hertz. We got the exact same camera system. 3 cameras on the rear, 50 megapixels, 12 megapixels, and 10 megapixels. Is it going to produce better photos? That remains to be seen, but most likely with some software optimization, you might get slightly better photos. but the actual sensor in the camera is basically the same. So that's a lot of information that we know about the Fold 6. And of course, we're going to get more details as the release date comes closer and closer. Just make sure you're subscribed for most up-to-date information. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below. Let me know. For now, have a fantastic day.